Richard Wright, the keyboardist and one of the founding members of Pink Floyd, was an essential figure in shaping the band's iconic sound. Known for his atmospheric keyboards and innovative arrangements, Wright's contributions brought depth, texture, and emotional resonance to Pink Floyd's music. Born on July 28, 1943, in London, England, Wright developed a passion for music early on and became renowned for his unique approach to keyboard playing, blending psychedelic, progressive, and experimental elements that became the hallmark of Pink Floyd's distinctive sound. Wright met Roger Waters, Nick Mason, and Syd Barrett while studying at the London College of Music and Architecture, and together they formed Pink Floyd in 1965. Initially, Wright was primarily the keyboardist, but as the band's music grew more complex, his role expanded. While Syd Barrett was the band's early visionary, Wright's synthesizer and organ work became integral to Pink Floyd's evolving sound. His contributions to the band's debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, 1967, marked the beginning of a long-lasting creative partnership with the group. As Pink Floyd's music evolved, Wright's contributions became more pronounced. His atmospheric synthesizer work helped define some of the band's most groundbreaking albums, including The Dark Side of the Moon, 1973, and Wish You Were Here, 1975. Tracks such as Breathe, Us and Them, and Shine on You Crazy Diamond highlight Wright's ability to create ethereal soundscapes that perfectly complemented the band's introspective and philosophical lyrics. His keyboard lines were key to setting the tone of Pink Floyd's music, adding emotional depth and complexity that resonated deeply with listeners. Despite being somewhat overshadowed by the larger personalities of Roger Waters and David Gilmour, Wright's influence on Pink Floyd was undeniable. He often took a back seat in the public eye, but played a central role in the band's creative process, crafting soundscapes that were as essential to their identity as any other member's contributions. His humility and ability to let the music speak for itself made him an indispensable part of the band. However, Wright's time with Pink Floyd wasn't without struggles. In the late 1970s, tensions began to rise within the band, particularly between Waters and the other members. In 1979, during the recording of The Wall, Wright was briefly dismissed from the band. Though he was later reinstated, his relationship with Waters was never the same, and the internal dynamics of the band shifted as they entered the 1980s. After leaving Pink Floyd in the early 1980s, Wright pursued a solo career and worked on several projects, including collaborations with David Gilmour on his solo albums. Though he stepped away from Pink Floyd's active touring lineup, his influence remained. When Pink Floyd reunited in the 1990s for albums like The Division Bell, 1994, Wright continued to be a vital part of the band's sound, contributing both musically and creatively to their final chapter. Wright passed away on September 15, 2008, after a battle with cancer. His death marked the end of an era for Pink Floyd, and his loss was deeply felt by fans and musicians alike. However, his legacy endures through the music he helped create, which continues to inspire and move listeners across generations. Richard Wright was more than just a keyboardist. He was the emotional heart and soul of Pink Floyd's sound, and his music will forever be a part of the fabric of rock history.